Clemson University's Media Forensics Hub uncovered a coordinated influence operation tied to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps that's using fake social media accounts to spread anti-Israel and anti-U.S. propaganda. Joining us now to talk about this is Will Biagini, Assistant Editor of Campus Reform. Will, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. Can I just start off by asking you, how extensive is this network of fake accounts? What do you know about this?
Right. Thank you so much for having me on. It's great to be here. So we got this crazy story today where researchers at Clemson University have uncovered this political ploy being used by the IRGC to utilize over 60 fake social media accounts across platforms like Blue Sky, Instagram, and X to push anti-Israel and anti-American narratives. Now, what we're seeing is that these accounts are pretending to be individuals from places like Texas and California, as well as places in Europe too, like Scotland and Ireland, to push these anti-Israel, anti-American narratives onto our social media feeds. Now, what this shows is that Iran's propaganda machine isn't just operating in Tehran anymore. No, it's made it into our own social media feeds, and it's infiltrating American public discourse on campuses.
Okay, Will, can you talk to us about what the stakes are then? What impact can such influence operations have on the public in America?
Right. So these operations can have massive impacts, especially on our young minds who are eating this up. You know, young students in America are kind of conditioned in leftist dominated higher education institutions to be super anti America, super anti Israel. And we see that a lot with the protests that they're holding. So we had one protest that we covered here at the Leadership Institute's Campus Reform at Arizona State University, where both socialists and pro Palestinian students joined forces to oppose President Trump in a protest. But interestingly, that protest was challenged by Iranian students who said that Iranians have lived under a dictatorship for over 40 years, and they actually support pressure on the regime responsible for widespread human rights abuses.
So you said that the younger generation potentially is eating this up. Is there any way to differentiate this? How can we tell that some social media posts are actually part of a foreign influence operation?
It's kind of hard to tell, but thankfully, a lot of these accounts have been either suspended or banned. That's a great thing that we're seeing. But what we also have to realize is that places like X and Instagram are often treated like the public square where the free ideas of exchange happens. That's actually not the case. These platforms are influenced heavily by foreign propaganda. That's what we're seeing. A lot of this also took very specific approaches by the IRGC. So, for example, a lot of these accounts were pretending to be Latina women or European activists. So they're very strategically designed to spread misinformation and anti-American narratives on these social media platforms. So we as Americans have to be very careful.
So, of course, this can influence opinion, sway public opinion, but do you think there could be actual security threats, physical risks? Could these social media campaigns contribute to real world security risks?
100% it can contribute to security risk, especially considering how online our society is. We have a lot of young minds who spend the majority of their free time online, but it is not just limited to young people or college campuses. We're seeing, people in the workforce, they spend a lot of their time as online as well. So we have a whole society that's spending most of their time online. And then you have countries like Iran, who are foreign adversaries, who are spreading all kinds of anti-America, anti-Israel narratives on these platforms. And so it's very easy to see how these narratives can make their way and influence the American education and American people at large.
So, Will, by us just talking about this, we're raising public awareness, potentially helping reduce, the effectiveness of these operations. But in your view, what are some efforts that we can do? How do we counter these operations?
Well, we absolutely got to be aware every time that we go on social media, we will be bombarded with some kind of propaganda, either it be foreign propaganda or it be a lot of these leftist groups that are using various left wing issues as rallying cries. Most recently, it's been the No War in Iran protests, but we also see them joining forces with the socialists and with the communists and the pro Palestinian students. They're all joining together because they hate America and they hate everything that America was founded on. And what's crazy is that these protesters are actually protesting in support of a regime that is famous for killing protesters. And so they don't even know what they're talking about. And so what we need to continue to see and what we need to continue to do is be very mindful whenever we go onto social media that our foreign adversaries are using those platforms against us and are attempting to divide the West with these narratives.
So, Will, can I ask you, do you think, in your opinion, is there a role that the government could play in this? I don't know, maybe social media companies as well. What do you think?
I think we need to be very careful whenever we go on social media and we see we can be duped into thinking that it's just the free exchange of ideas, but it's really not. A lot of these, so we saw X got bought by Elon Musk, right? That was great win for free speech. So a lot of these accounts have been suspended or banned, but there's undoubtedly more out there. And we have to realize is that something that we might think might be a bot, it's not. It might actually be an IRGC agent pretending to be a Latina to bombard anti-American propaganda into your social media feeds. That kind of stuff happens all the time, as we just see from this study at Clemson University. So we have to be very careful whenever we go on social media that it's not just the free flowing exchange of ideas. There might actually be hostile foreign propaganda at work.
Okay, just one final question, Will. What is Iran's broader goal here? What is its end game? How do campaigns like this fit into Iran's broader geopolitical strategy?
Their goal is to cause division in the West. Specifically, their goal is to take weaknesses in Western countries like the United States and exploit it for their own political gain. Because they know that if they can take an issue that divides us in the West, that if they know that they can take it and exploit it and it'll cause us to crumble, a house divided against itself cannot stand, then they will do it. They will take issues that they know are hot button issues here in the United States, hot button issues in Western countries elsewhere, and they'll take these issues and they'll exploit them because they want to divide us, because they know that we are stronger together. And if we are not stronger together, then they can do what they want. So they'll try to tear us apart.
Well, all right, Will, well said. Good to speak with you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.